Hey everybody, it is Elson932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. This is episode 7 of The King's Court. If you can, please make sure that you like the live. Leave a comment below. Leave a comment in the chat if you are here live. We are here to talk about King's Court. Please pardon if I'm sniffling. I'm getting over a cold. I was not nasally because of this or the weddings from Love is Blind. I'm just getting over just a minor cold. But let's start off. Dr. Kalia, says she needs a little time in order to get back to talking to Titus, okay? She needs some time after this, getting her into the bottom. She said, she has things she wants to say directly, and she is pissed. She is confused, she is humiliated, and she is hurt. She said he effed her up in the head and hurt her. I was like, say it, Dr. Say it, doctor. The good doctor is saying exactly what's on her mind. She's like, you cannot tell me to show my full self. And then when I do it, you tell me, don't do it this way. He said, don't, show me the person you have curated yourself to be. And she's like, you can't tell me be myself and then don't be myself. That's, overwhelming. She said, now she's overthinking. How does she get it right? She's not sure that this is love. Now, Dr. Kalia, last week you told this man he was your husband. I think you should have kept that one to yourself. I think you should have kept that one until y'all are saying y'all vows and then say, hey, yes, I knew way before you did that you were my husband. So she also lets him know we queens too are also watching how y'all kings move. We are watching, we are learning, because we also have to choose you. So she does do something that I didn't appreciate. She does bring up Carlos. She's like, in studying Carlos, when a man knows, his actions line up with what he knows. And she wants to feel secure. And I'm like, girl, why are we bringing up Carlos? Hey, Delphine Azul, glad to have you here. As well as D Brown, glad to have you here. Glad you all came into the chat with this King's Court. The good doctor brought up Carlos's name. I was not in favor of that. I'm like, girl, Janae is not secure. Why would you bring this up? Janae is already carrying on about Jennifer. Don't say when a man knows his actions line up and you want to feel secure like Janae feels secure. She is not secure. No one's secure till the finale. No one is secure. Janae may be, acting up. Janae may be doing all kinds of stuff to put herself in front of Carlos's face and my man, but Janae is not secure. Jennifer is there waiting in the wings as his perfect match, and she definitely is, was pushed back on her heels. Now, Titus does something that I was like, he takes a sip of water before he answers her. And at first it sounded very snippy when he said, are you finished? But it was like, he's like, I don't want to cut you off. I want to make sure you get it all out before I even say something. So he's like, I don't want you cutting in when I'm speaking. He starts speaking, she cuts him off. He's like, He wants uninterrupted speaking, like he gave her that respect. But he said emotions are way too high right now for both of them to process what's being said. So Dr. Kalia is left hanging in her conversation with Titus. Now, Sarah, Edelweiss, and Tyson are chatting by the pool. And he said, hey, he has not had a chance to have, any deep conversation with Edelweiss. Let me check. The chat said something. I just wish Janae would just chill out. Carlos clearly likes her, and the cream always rides to the top. She needs to chillax. She needs to chillax because she is just giving Jennifer too much power. You're correct, Delphine. So, as I said, Sarah and Edelweiss and Tyson are there. Edelweiss feel like he's running from her. And Tyson's like, no, I want to run to you. And Sarah's like, that's the problem. You're running around with too many of these ladies. And I'm like, Sarah, that's what the show is. The show is all these ladies vying for the kings. Okay? All these ladies are vying for the kings. So, yes. Hey, Real, glad to have you here. So, Tyson running to her is part of the show. Hey, Chicago girl, glad to see you. Glad to see you here. So, I mean, Sarah, this is what's going to happen. He has to date all or most of these ladies. But he asked Sarah if it's okay for him to go date on a date with Idlewives. I said, Tyson, you are poking the bear. You know that girl don't want you to go on that date. Delphine said, Jennifer, I know my baby voice is going to run out eventually. Girl, the helium out of that balloon going to wear out. Get out my head, Delphine. That's exactly what I think about every time I hear Jennifer speak, is like the helium is being escaping from the balloon. When is it going to end? So Tyson says, I don't want, I don't want you guys, day to be thrown off. He's like, I want you to say, I don't want you guys to date and I won't stand in your way. She's like, Sarah's like, okay, yeah, that. But she doesn't say it exactly. So he does ask Idlewives on a date right there in front of Sarah. And I was like, oh, that was the inspiration for my new emoji for the members. That was my inspiration for that emoji, because I was like, Tyson, that was a little savage. You asked Sarah if you could date Idlewives while she did. Then he turned to Idlewives, I'd like to have a date in front of Sarah, knowing how Sarah feels. And I was like, whoa, Tyson, I bet you won't do that in front of Felicia. You see, you know who to play with, Tyson. You would not do that in front of Felicia. I put a penny for the thoughts on that. You wouldn't ask another woman on a date in front of Felicia. But then when Sarah starts getting snippy and spicy, as Tyson would say, he says, yo, I'm going to leave y'all because she getting spicy now. Tyson, you set the flames and now you want to run away. You set her off and now you're going to run away. Come on now. What are we talking about? Hey, let's talk about it all. Glad to have you here. You set her off by asking another woman on a date in front of her, and now you want to like leave so she could calm down. Hey, Brianna is my favorite. She had the best personality of all the women. She is absolutely beautiful. She is Motown investor. Absolutely love Brianna. That, she is definitely my favorite out of the ladies. So Carlos is sitting there talking to Janae about chess, trying to teach her. And Brianna is sitting on a lounger with Titus. And she calls him the Chocolate Thanos. Now, Brianna, if ever a correct name was given to anyone on a show, this was correct. You calling Titus the Chocolate Thanos was impeccable. That was correct. I give you snaps because that is the correct name for Titus, the Chocolate Thanos. Only I do hope that if he gets all the gemstones, it ain't going to be to make us disappear. Okay? I'm hoping it's not to make us disappear. But they had a good little, pull and tug, like, oh, you want to pull your arm behind me? He's like, do you want my arms around you? They had a good little back and forth, okay? I really, really loved it. Speaking of voices, Idlewives should have gone. I studied Spanish for 2 years, and a thick accent is a bit much even for me. Those men were never going to choose her. They gave her false hope. Oh. So ending by chocolate, take me now, Thanos. Delphi. I know. He is definitely the Chocolate Thanos. Brianna really came up with the correct name for him. So, y'all, the host and hostess arrive, Holly Robinson Pete and her husband, Mr. Pete. They arrive, and we are told that the family of the queens are going to come. The family of the queens are going to come for a cookout, and the men are going to cook. Hey, K Sharp, glad to have you here. The fact that Titus had to tell Carlos that he had to season the burgers before putting it on the grill, I was like, Carlos, you need to stay away from the grill. Stay away from the grill. You were taking them burgers as they were and taking it straight to Stay away from all the meats, all of that. Go 10 bar. Go hang up somebody's coat or something. Stay away from the cooking, because you're going to take that regular burger meat, from the daggone store and put it straight on the grill. No wonder Jennifer wants the juicy burger that's called, Tyson. I'm sorry, I had to go there. No wonder Jennifer thinks of Tyson as a juicy burger. So their family arrives, and what I'm going to do is each of the kings, I'm going to, talk about the conversations they had with the family members. So we'll start first with the appropriately named Chocolate Thanos, okay? We will start with Titus. Ariel's friend is there. He talks about when she popped off, okay? When she popped off with the other lady that was there. Carlos lived in Alaska too long, no season. Was it Alaska? I thought he was in Seattle. But if it was Alaska, it says a lot. Yes, shApp, who does that? I mean, he didn't even take some kind of seasoning to pour on it to put on. Titus had to be like, come here, bring them burgers back here. We need to season that. So yes, Titus talks about how Ariel popped off, that he had to drag her on the floaty to the deep end to get her from popping off to a queen that was there. He also talked to Edelweiss. He spoke to her friend for 3 minutes. And we find out that Edelweiss was on the album cover for her friend. Well, her legs were. We saw her legs with leg warmers on the cover. But Edelweiss, you going to put a pin in that. Edelweiss was not happy. He only spent like 3 minutes with her friend. Dr. Kalia and her friend Crystal, she shares what happened last night with Titus. And she says she needs to get him, to take his focus off the food and into her. Dr. Kalia, he's doing the Lord's work right now, okay? Titus needs to focus on the food because Carlos ain't. And Tyson is focused on the alcohol. So I'm going to need you to chillax because the only person making sure y'all are eating some good seasoned food right now is Titus. Lay off of him. So Titus does go talk to her friend, and Dr. K, the friend says, hey, she is, lovey-dovey. She gives so much that she neglects her own needs. Now, Dr. Kalia does apologize. She does listen to him. And she said she now feels like she can hear what he has to say today. And I wonder if that's going to be their life, that he got to wait a whole 24, 48 hours before she could really hear all that he has to say. Now, she is hopeful that they can get past all of this. And he said he could tolerate a lot, but he wants to be able to be himself. I wonder if Ariel's going to pop off when she finds out Titus's female best friend. I wondered about that, Delphine, because she didn't pop off. Hey, Just Rhonda01, thank you for being here. Yes, please hit the like. Hit that like one good time. And Just Rhonda01, she got your Housewives, your Married of Huntsville, all of that on her channel, doing her recaps and review with, just like myself, she does King's Court and she does Project Runway. Hey, I said what I said. Glad to have you here. And if you want, true crime and all the mayors that are doing foolishness out here, I said what I said. Her channel has definitely got you. Okay. So we finally get to Titus talking to Brianna, which we find out is her brother that's there, Fred. And Fred asked if, Titus wants to be married. And he said, yes, he wants to be a husband. And we find out that, unfortunately, their father passed away, okay, less than a year ago. And, it made her want to live her life and not waste her life and her time. So Titus is asked about his about some insecurities, and her brother said, hey, trusting someone all the way, because she has trusted people in the past and they have, done her wrong, real wrong. So he does say that she intrigues him. She has a calming piece about her, and there's a wild side he feels that she has not shown. And I get the same sense, Titus. We have not seen Brianna's wild side. We see peaks of it, especially when you're walking around with no shirt and she got to keep her eye on you. We see peaks of it. But again, Brianna is not showing all of her wild side. And as she said, she don't want to be on Bravo talking about her wild side, okay? This is a family channel. I need Brianna to chillax a bit, but I understand. You don't want to be too wild. So then let me go to Tyson. He meets Felicia's friend, Missy, and, asks how does he really want a serious relationship? And he talks about how affectionate they are. And the friend is like, I can't believe that. I can't believe my Felicia is affectionate and carrying on. She's not like that. So Tyson's like, well, if she comes over here, she'll just sit on my lap and she'll curl into me. She's like, yeah, that ain't my friend. That ain't the friend I know. And Felicia comes over and she sits on his lap, just like Tyson said, and they curled into each other. The friend is like, huh, okay. So Tyson helps you be relaxed and affectionate. I've never seen you like this. And this is where Felicia shares she's dated ball players and rappers and stuff like that, where affection and PDA is not shown out there. Not at all. And she is loving getting this from Tyson. So again, Tyson is bringing out the best out of Felicia. So then we meet Sarah's friend Casey, and he asks about, what if I move Sarah to Miami to be around me? And, she's like, hey, as long as you make her happy, that's perfectly fine. So Tyson said, what is her type? Is it tall, dark, and handsome? And the friend just chuckles and giggles. And then he asks, well, has she dated celebrities before? And the friend kind of hedges it and looking at Sarah real hard. And it's like, she has. So here's the thing with Tyson. And I appreciate this tomato. You okay? Tyson, is it the first lap she sat on? I bet not. I bet not. I appreciate that tomato K-sharp, because here's what happened with Tyson. With all these friends, Tyson is talking and asking the friends and not sharing much of himself. Tyson turned the whole interview table around. I need to find out about your friend. You ain't going to find out about me. I need to find out about your friend. So the friend is looking at Sarah and saying, she going to tell you later. She going to tell you who that ex is later. And she does, y'all. But we going to go to Carlos. Carlos does meet with Janae's friend AJ. And, the friend is like, I have not seen her obsessed with anyone. And she's really into Carlos. So Carlos said the feeling is mutual. Carlos, I don't know if you're really saying this. Please blink twice and let us know that this is your honest opinion, because it seems to me like Janae will put you in a headlock if you don't say that she is your choice. That's all I'm saying. So he said he has not had anyone completely open and honest as she has been. And he said in his past, he has entertained other people in a relationship, but that's not who he is now. He tells her, that he is now, a man of, who's going to be faithful in his relationship. So the friend does say that Janae has been betrayed by every man in her past. And he's thinking, daggone it, if I choose Jennifer, is this going to trigger Janae if I just leave the door open and pursue Jennifer? I was like, Carlos, are you here to make sure Janae is appeased, or are you here to find a love for yourself? I understand you may trigger her, but girl, Carlos, you cannot be dating here just to make everybody happy. Okay? So Jennifer's friend Mercedes said Jennifer is ready, but the men who have come into her life are not great. So Carlos said, hey, starting over will be a challenge, but once he's in love, it'll be easy. Carlos, I ain't like that answer. I understand what you're trying to say. Oh, love gonna calm everything. It ain't. You starting over with Jennifer, starting over with kids. Yes, you have a kid in kindergarten, a 5-year-old wonderful child, is going to be starting all over again. I'm just saying, love ain't going to calm everything. So then we see Idlewise talking with Catherine, okay? She says her bestie didn't even have enough time with any of the kings. This is after the cookout. Everybody's done gone home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck out of the castle. And Idlewise is crying in the room, saying her bestie didn't get much time with any of the kings. Like the kings didn't want to, spend their time getting to know her through her friend. She said Tyson didn't even show that he wanted to date her. So Catherine is like, okay, I'm gonna have to go find somebody to help you with this. Let me go grab Tyson. So she runs and she's like, Tyson, I need you now. You got to come with me now. And he just, granted, Tyson just picked everything up and say, hey, whatever you need, I'm coming with you. Janae's friend seemed a little fake in describing her. Didn't point. Yeah, whenever somebody says every man has cheated on me, you missed a lot of red flags. At what point do you take some responsibility? I'm with you, Delphine. So when Tyson gets there, Adelwise says she wants to go home. She feels like leftovers. Okay. I was like, girl, I understand. I know that's not the actual word you wanted to use, but I understand what you're saying. So she says she deserves the time with the Kings. And he said he doesn't want her to go. Remember, her objective is not to be a runner anymore. And I'm like, yes, she's a runner and track star. But in this case, I'm saying otherwise run. What are you sticking around for? Why are you going to stick around? Because they're clearly not showing that they're interested in you. So now Titus talks to Brianna and he wants to understand her more. Titus, I was like, why does it seem like we want to know more about someone before the end? And y'all, I'm just putting that out there. So Brianna said, hey, she's used to having a big heart and being so open, and it has backfired on her. Her last relationship ended, because he had a kid on her with someone else. They were engaged, planning their marriage, and she finds out in the 9th month this woman is having this man's child. And I was like, Brianna, if that didn't make you a runner and a track star, I don't know what. Whew. She said she has no fear of relationship, but it will take her time to trust. The most important things out of a relationship for her are communication, 1, 2, making time, and 3, physical intimacy. So in the in the part of physical intimacy, Titus is like, well, what do you mean by physical intimacy? Tell me more. That's Titus's thing. Put the hands together. Tell me more. I'm all ears. That is Titus's biggest thing when he's talking about, being real curious about what the women are talking about. So she says physical intimacy is like holding hands, hugging, and making out. She's really into making out. He's like, oh, you mean smixy time? He's like, why are we talking like it's kindergarten or middle school or high school? Sorry, y'all, to say kindergarten, but why are we talking like this is, nothing? Like, we're children. We're grown. We're in our 30s and 40s. Why are we talking like kids? So Tyson, later on, we find out, is with Sarah, okay? On the same couch he was with Felicia last week, okay? Last week's episode, he was on that same couch with Felicia. I'm just putting it in perspective. So he asked, who's the celebrity that you've dated? He said, if you don't tell me right now, I'm going to walk. I'm going to go away. So she finally breaks down and tells him. It is, I'm going to call it like the interview. It is Robert Kelly. That's who her ex is, Robert Kelly. He couldn't believe it. He was stunned. He was floored. He said, I can't believe it. He said, I don't know if I want to be associated with that. I don't know if I want to follow up with that dude. I don't know at all. He was like, yeah, this is going to throw me for a loop. Sarah should have took that to the grave. Well, she can't take that to the grave because if there are photos of her with him out in the open, yeah, or if someone in that person's camp, passes a note to Tyson, I used to know your girl. She can't really take that with her. She can't really hide that. She has to have dated someone else famous. Yeah, she must have. And my thing is, she's just saying, oh, that was 10 years ago. You are who you date. That's going to follow you, Sarah. I'm sorry. That is going to follow you the entire time. I'm sorry. You're not who you date, but in this case, it can taint Tyson's reputation out here, the association. So you have to understand why Sarah is one of the 3 bottom queens. These are the 3 queens on the bottom tonight, y'all. Sarah, Idlewise, and Brianna. Sorry to say, I understand why Sarah's on the bottom. I understand why Idlewise is on the bottom. Brianna, not so much. And here's where I'm going to get on production. Why are we showing people spending a whole lot of time together when it is, time to vote them out? I think production are piecing things together, giving you a lot more camera time before it's no more camera time. The woman on the R. Kelly documentary said he was spreading cooties. Ooh. So while Tyson is necking with her on the couch, he may be getting more than affection. Is that what you're saying, just Rhonda? I'm just checking. And he just passed it on to Felicia. See, we can't be commingling all this, okay? Unpopular opinion. Still don't know how he handled it. Still don't like how he handled it. He could have been mature and talked to her. Well, we gonna get there, Chicago girl. So Titus talks to Brianna. She says she's not nervous. She's intrigued as to why she's here. Titus says her confidence is attractive to him. And she does ask an important question out here in the dating world. If she wanted to tie him up, will he allow it? And you know, Titus, his other move is to take his shades off and say, excuse me? Excuse me? She said, that's exactly what I thought. He ain't gonna let you tie him up, Brianna. He ain't there yet. So Carlos talks to Edelweiss. You know, they talk about how she did not get enough time with the Kings, and he does understand. Really like Brianna? Yes, I really do like Brianna. Yes, her person just isn't there. Isn't there at all. Isn't there at all. So, as I said, Carlos is talking to Edelweiss, and then Tyson doesn't talk to Sarah. Just like Chicago, Tyson does not talk to Sarah. Sarah is sitting at the edge of the counter in the kitchen. The refrigerator is right there. Tyson goes in to get I think it was a bottle of water. I can't remember. And then he walks over by the wall, and he's leaning on the wall, and he's doing everything but talk to Sarah. But talk to Sarah. In all seriousness, what restraints are going to hold Titus? Hey, Wonder Woman had her truth rope. Maybe that could hold the chocolate Thanos. Tyson was petty. Yes, he can't deal with tough conversations. He started off saying he doesn't like tough conversations. Then he did better in the middle of the season, and now he's back to his old ways of not addressing things. And you can't just let her just sit there without talking to her. So after Holly Robinson Pete, the hostess, realizes that Tyson just walking around, she grabs him. She's like, hey, what's going on? So he shares who's the celebrity. And Tyson feels like it's him being kicked in the gonads by a mule. Okay, I'm like, Tyson, why do you feel so affronted? She didn't tell you. When you did ask her and say, hey, I'm going to leave if you don't, you got your answer. But why now is it a betrayal? She did answer you. Say you don't like the answer. You don't like that she was associated with that person. But why are you so affronted? Why are you so affronted? And you understand, yes, it could hurt your reputation, say all of that, but why are you affronted? She did give you the honest answer. He said he would have rather that she left like a thief in the night. So you would rather that she told you or that she left without, she became a runner and a track star that you didn't want Edelweiss to be. You'd rather her just sneak off. You know why? So you wouldn't have to face her. So you wouldn't have to speak to her. So you wouldn't have to face the situation and handle it like a grown-up. That's why you say you'd rather she just disappeared. Are there other people in your life you wish that would just disappear like a thief in the night so you wouldn't have to handle tough conversations? That's what I didn't like about Tyson with this one. We saw a whole lot of not handling tough situations in relationships with Tyson on this one. So again, a king leaves Edelweiss in order to go comfort another queen. And all I was saying is, Edelweiss, girl, again, girl, I'm sorry for you. You know what's going on. So Carlos leaves Edelweiss to go talk to Sarah because he says, hey, I see someone who's hurting. She needs someone to talk to her. Hey, let me go talk to her and see if she's all right. So Sarah's like, why does she have to justify what happened 10 years ago? Why does she have to justify this now? Sarah, it's going to be the rest of your life because you're associated with that person. I'm sorry to tell you. So Holly does go over, the hostess, to hug Sarah. And, you know, Holly says his issue is not knowing and finding out so late. Okay? But keep your head up. This is your story. This is part of your journey. I like what she said with that, hey, don't like wait this long to tell. but keep your head up. This is your story. Didn't he attend Diddy parties? Not trying to put him in the mix of the allegations, but sir, which one? Did Tyson attend Diddy parties or did Kelly? Robert, as Gail calls him. Robert. Which one, Chicago girl? Or it could have been both. I don't know. So Tyson, I don't know. I didn't follow it that hard to see if he was in the photos. Okay? We don't know. And this was, of course, filmed before the whole Diddy investigation or Diddy, court case and everything. So they had the Kings, talk to the ladies and let them know what the decision is. Tyson didn't even want to talk to Sarah to tell her what the decision was. He left Carlos to do that. So again, Tyson let somebody else do his, I don't want to say dirty work, but let someone else present his presentation or do his homework while he just sit there sulking. So Tyson tells Idlewise that she brings joy to the house. She says she's a runner, but it shows that she's not ready to be with them. You are not our queen. Now, Idlewise, as gracious as she is, as beautiful as she looked, okay? And she let us know that her friend is the designer of the outfit she was wearing. You better tell and promote your friend, Idlewise. She is grateful for the experience. So Carlos tells, Sarah, unfortunately, she and Tyson had some static and it may not be repairable. She is not our queen. Sarah says she is at peace with the decision. Tyson said he is sad that she's going home, but had to send her home. And Sarah said, thank you, Carlos, for the kind words and for being a king. She did not even address Tyson, which is clearly what needed to be done because Tyson wasn't going to address her. Tyson was going to stick his head in the sand and keep it pushing. Now, Titus talked to Brianna, says she is class and intelligence. You better tell it. You better tell it, Titus. He said, but she seems to be cautious and it does not bode well in this type of experience. She said she started doing all the right things a little too late and she is not our queen. I was like, daggone it, why you got to send Brianna home? That's one of our favorite queens. Brianna did say she learned so much and to continue to be herself, and that is what she'll take from the experience. Y'all, that was the end of the episode. I was disappointed in Tyson, okay? I was disappointed in Titus because, again, all three queens went home. All three. I know we got to dwindle it down, but there are other queens that could have been on the chopping block, okay? There are other queens. I'm going to call them out. Y'all could have put Catherine could have been on the chopping block. Allison, we knew Tyson didn't want Allison anyway. Those two could have gone and y'all could have kept Brianna for us, okay? Brianna could have stayed. Y'all could have been Idlewise, Catherine, and Allison and send everyone home and Brianna could have still be here. Y'all put in the comments, what do y'all think? Put in the comments below or in the live, should we have had Brianna stay? Because I thought she was absolutely divine. I really enjoyed her while she was there. She was always, sunshines and rainbows, but we didn't get enough of her on our screen. You agree with me? Yeah, Catherine Allison could have gone home. I'm sorry. If you wanted three queens to send, I don't. Actually, you could have added them to the list and keep Brianna and send 4 queens home. But I can't tell production how to do their show since it's already been filmed. But we knew Sarah was going home. We knew Idlewise was going home because not enough time with any of the kings. But Tyson, how you going to ask a girl out on a date and never take her? Is that what you do? Is that the ghosting that you do? Because you say you've ghosted people before. So you asked her on a date in front of Sarah at the pool, riled Sarah up, and you never took Idlewise out on a date. Real sound fishy to me. But y'all, I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. I did not enjoy Brianna going home. Okay, that's the only part I did not enjoy, but I did enjoy her naming him Chocolate Thanos. Chocolate Thanos, totally. I watched Brianna's in an interview the other day solidify why I liked her. Yes, I did see that interview. Oh my gosh, she is doing interviews now, and she is definitely a delight. Absolutely a delight. So y'all, please leave in the comments below, what did you think about King's Court this week? And you know what? There's several things going on this channel. We're also doing Match Me Abroad. We're doing Project Runway. I have Unscripted on Fridays, and Sunday is going to be a lot. It's going to be a members live, and I'm considering doing a live raw reaction on the reunion for Love is Blind UK on Sunday as well, because that's supposed to come out at 9 p.m. EST. But thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I will see you on the next one.